are business cards still the thing, or are they just tiny little pieces of paper that we pretend are important at networking events? I'll be honest, I used to think that business cards were outdated, especially because in the age of smartphones, like, isn't that the whole point of the smartphone is that we can find each other easily on the internet and connect later? But there's still something so wildly effective about having this tangible piece of paper that you can hand to somebody after having a real life conversation with them about you and your business. And it's not about pitching, it's not about selling, but it is about, hey, I enjoyed our conversation and here's how you can find me again. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. My name is Tabitha, and welcome to A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. I help day one entrepreneurs take that first terrifying leap into business ownership without completely losing their minds in the process. This channel is for the people who are standing on the edge of something really scary, but also equally just as marvelous, wondering if they are unhinged for even considering the jump. Before we dive into today's episode, I just want to let you know about the mess hall. This is an entrepreneur community that I am launching where we'll meet once a month on Zoom. It starts April 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to last for about an hour, but it's meant to just connect and hold people accountable and kind of connect with other entrepreneurs. So because it can just feel so isolating being an entrepreneur, especially when you're first starting out. It's $5 per session. We'll have monthly themes. I'll do workshops, and even every once in a while, I'll find us a guest speaker that can give us some tips and tricks of the trade out there to help move along the success of your business. But it launches at the end of this month. I really hope to see you there. That is a Saturday, so I'm hoping that that's a good day for everybody. But yeah, I'm really excited about it, and it's just going to be something I'm going to try for the summer, and let's see how it goes. Let's see what kind of community of entrepreneurs we can build. So today we're talking about your first business card. And I know this seems like a little American Psycho of me, but I just think it's really important to discuss etiquette and how things have kind of changed when it comes to business card, and maybe like how to help you design your first business card and how many you should order. Spoiler alert, the answer is not 500 of them. But that is a rite of passage. So if you've already ordered 500 business cards, welcome to being an entrepreneur. You've ordered way too many. Um, but business cards are definitely still a thing. I've gone to so many networking events and conventions and everything, and I've come back with so many business cards from other entrepreneurs, other podcasters, other creators. They're still very much in rotation. And the first event that I ever went to was a women's travel fest. Oh my God. When it first launched, 10 years ago now. And I didn't have any business cards, so I was writing my information on loose leaf paper because I didn't even think to order them. It was my first event. It was the first year that I really started my travel blog in a serious capacity. So I was green to everything, wet behind the ears on everything. And I felt so stupid not having business cards. I was like, why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I think of this? So I started to fib a little bit and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I ran out of business cards. Is it okay if I write on a napkin for you or whatever? And people were so generous and like, oh my God, yeah, no, that's so great. Yeah, I'd love to connect again. And people were just so nice about the fact that I was handing them my information on a napkin and on loose leaf paper and the back of brochures I was grabbing off of tables, and like it was just, you guys, it was a mess. It was I've come so far. Like, just to think of where I was 10 years ago, like I've just good for me. I've come so far. But one of the greatest pieces of advice I received from this girl when I first got there, when she was the first person to ask for my business card, and I said, I don't have any. I, I don't feel like my business is far enough yet to have business cards. And she stopped me and she was like, "Nope, we're not going down that road. Let me give you a little piece of advice." She said, "When I got my business idea, the very first thing I ever did for myself was buy business cards." And she's like, "It is the most empowering thing that you can do for yourself because your business is an idea. It's intangible, right? You can't touch that idea. You can do stuff about it. You can get programs set up and buy a website and buy a domain, which you should totally do if you come up with a business idea. I say that all the time, buy the domain. But it's all intangible. You can't touch the internet. You can't touch social media. It's all digital, right? But there is something so flippin' cool about your business cards showing up in the mail in a tangible box and you can touch them and you can hand them out to people and it just makes it feel really real, right? So when you come up with your business idea, buy the domain, get the social media handles, domain, social media handles, business cards. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. We're going to go through the business cards today, but there's just something so wonderful about having something tangible for your business, especially when we're in such a digital age, to have something physical that you can touch that is your business is just it's a beautiful thing. And I it was the best piece of advice given to me. I kid you not, when I got home from that convention, I ordered 150 business cards, which I still have a lot of them because obviously ordering 150 business cards was a lot. But because I was a photographer too at the time, so I got the ones where it alternated different pictures of mine on the back. So I wanted to get like a decent handful. So I had like, a portfolio kind of handout, which was way too much. But um yeah, I just get the business card. Get it. Even if it is simplistic, it please do not think you have to put your whole media kit and resume on a business card. That's not what it's for. It's to contact you. That is it. It's to find you on the internet. It's to contact you later. It is not about like how many followers do they have? What is their impressions every month? What's their weekly engagement percentages? What's their conversion percentages? Nope, don't go down that road. But ordering the business card first thing when you have the business idea is just like, it's so empowering, you guys. Like, it's just so cool to get your business card and be like, oh my God, I'm doing it. Here we go. Here's another step in the right direction. So, that was one of the coolest pieces of advice given to me, and now I'm passing it on to you. So are business cards even still relevant? And I think yes, just absolutely yes, but I think it's kind of shifted from like how the vibe of a business card is. So it used to be for like you could use them for cold calling and in a more analog age, right? But I think it's become less transactional and more relational. And I think this is really important because the thing is like, I'm going to use a horrible metaphor, so please bear with me. But, your life is a book. You go through different chapters, especially with your business. Your business is going through different chapters and everything like that. To get that business card, it is a bookmark of a real life conversation that you've had with someone. So to exchange business cards, we had a good interaction. We've developed rapport. We've developed some type of the start of some sort of relationship. And it's an exchange of information so that relationship can continue and grow. And I think there's just something so beautiful about the art of a business card exchange these days because it's less about like I'm selling something and I'm pitching you about something, and that does exist. Please don't get me wrong, that does exist. That is something that you do. But I have found that in my experience over the last 10 years of actually owning business cards to hand out to people, it's definitely become more about the relationship. Like there have been people that I've had a conversation with and I was like, I don't think that this is a good vibe. This isn't a good match. And we didn't exchange cards. But it was just like, hey, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your time. And I moved along. There have been other people that I've met that I'm like, wow, this is so cool meeting you. I feel like we're really vibing. I feel like this is, really cool. I see a collaboration or something in the future. Like, can we exchange information? And you see an exchange of business cards. So there's just there's a different vibe to the business card world these days. Um, but let's talk about what actually belongs on a business card because I ranted about it before, but I have some notes. So again, I'm gonna look kind of away from the camera, so bear with me because I want to make sure I get this right. So what you need is your name. A dear friend of mine made these beautiful business cards. They were like gorgeous. They were printed so well, and she forgot to put her name on them. So please remember your name, your title, or what you do. Mine says, I am going to share my business card towards the end of this episode, but mine says the Queen of Chaotic Storytelling. Um, one or two contact points, like such as like where you prefer to be contacted at. Some people prefer to be contacted on their Instagram account or Instagram and an email account. Um, I say put your active channels and like your URL, and that's it. You don't want to put every single social media platform you have a handle on. You don't want to put your life story. You're not putting your entire resume. And negative space is not your enemy. I have negative space on mine. Now, you guys will see my business card here shortly, but on one side is my brand. It's just like my logo, it's my whole logo, which is a woman reading a book, and it says Tabitha Bear Studios on it. And it's, you know, just that. On the other side, it has my name, Queen of Chaotic Storytelling, my email, which I'm not going to be sharing, so you're not going to see that. Um, the platforms that I'm active on, and then just a little like watermark. But there's lots of empty space, lots of negative space. Um, and I'm going to talk more about that shortly. Yeah, so I did make the mistake of trying to put absolutely everything crammed into a business card because I was like, I have to make a good impression. I want people to know about me. Nope. Nope. If you had a good conversation, they want to know more about you and they will be in contact with you. If you want to know more about them and they give you their business card or you ask for their business card, you will contact them. The the more negative space I feel, the better. And the reason for that is because write on the business card. I write on business cards all the time. This was actually a tip my uncle gave me. He told me that he loves negative light colored space on a business card because he can write notes about the person, where they met, maybe a follow-up date, um, if they were meeting for dinner or something after a convention or whatever, and it was like he would write the restaurant name and reservation dates on time on it. And I was just like, that's brilliant. I never thought of writing on a business card. So before I was getting like these glossy cards and it would smear and whatever, and we'll talk about design, but write on the business card. Like I love having negative space on a business card because I write on it like met at podcast movement, met at travel con. I'll put the date and I'll put like follow up in like a week, to thank them for their time or whatever. But I also will write little details about the person, so this way I can remember who it is that I was talking to, because the thing is, when you go to conventions, you meet so many cool people, and you meet 15 Johns and 4 Amandas and 7 Tracys, and you meet so many people, and a lot of them have the tendency to share a name that I'm just like, oh my God, I met 4 Davids today, and I don't remember which David was the one that we were talking about me doing an introduction for his podcast. So, writing on business cards is very helpful in this situation. And also, I'll write little like physical things, like David was the one who was wearing the ducks blowing bubblegum bubbles on his bow tie. And I'll be like, oh, yes, that David, right? So just use they're for you. When they give them to you, it's for you, it's for your collection, right? This does not have to be like, oh my God, other people are going to look at my business cards. No, they're for you. Write your note, put it in your bag, call it a day. And, it's whatever helps you remember about that moment. I think is really crucial. When I went to Podcast Movement and I was, it was my first, or no, Podcast Evolutions. I went to Evolutions, the first convention that I went to for podcasting. And I had no idea how to get sponsorships. I had no idea what was going on. So I was asking people questions, and people were giving me, information about my catalog and if I would own it or not if I worked with them. They were giving me information about how many listens you had to have every month and where you were trending. And I was writing that data on the business cards for the people who might sponsor you. Um, I was writing that on the business cards so that I knew that information. So when I went home, I was like, okay, here are all the people I'm going to follow up with and thank them for their time. But here's where I can see myself moving over the next year. So it was just stuff like that is very helpful to write on a business card because you don't have to look through your notes and try to um compare notes with the business card or whatever. It's on the business card. It's probably some of the coolest advice that my uncle has ever given to me. So thank you, Uncle Chris. So I want to talk about designs and practicality. Now, I'm not a graphic designer. I did have somebody design my business card for me. I told her what I wanted in terms of making sure there was negative space. And, for me, I think she hit the nail on the head with what it is that I wanted. But if you are a graphic designer, you would know much better tips than I would about how to design, a business card. But here are some things that I think are helpful tips. Don't clutter your layout. Don't use unique, unreadable fonts. You want it to be readable. Um, and it all sends a message, right? Like I've had people give me their business cards with weird cursive on it or weird loopy writing with the eyes dotted with hearts and stuff like that, and I couldn't read their name. I couldn't read their business. I couldn't read where to contact them at, and I never got to contact them. And people get kind of weird about their business cards because they design them themselves usually, or they have somebody who designed it for them. And um it's one of those it just I could never get in contact with that person because I couldn't read it. I couldn't decipher the font they used. It was, your business card is only 2 inches by what, 4 inches, something like that, 2 by 6. So um, you only have so much space to put something on either side. You're using smaller fonts anyway to make it look nice. And why would you use a tiny cursive font that's crazy that you can't read? If people can't read your business card, they're not going to get in contact with you and they'll probably just throw it away. So, just those are some things that I think are really helpful when it comes to your business card. Now, practicality. I am begging you. I'm absolutely begging you. Please just stick to a standard size business card. Feel free to make it portrait orientation and go a little differently. Feel free to stick to landscape orientation. I stick to landscape orientation. Please don't try to make it cool. Please don't make it star shaped. Please don't make it square. Please don't make it circle. There are no business card holders that let me hold your business card if it's square or circle or star shaped. I appreciate you trying to be unique about the situation. I understand you're trying to stick out. Maybe it was cheaper to get a square. Maybe it worked. Maybe something worked well to have a square. But when you're at a convention or some type of networking event, just please stick to a standard size business card. I have a business card holder that is literally just a standard size business card holder. I have lost every single square and circle business card someone has given to me because I couldn't put it in my holder and it ended up in my bag or my suitcase or whatever. It got damaged, it got lost. I had nowhere safe to put it with my other business cards. And so to those people who have handed me weird shaped business cards, I apologize, but I just I don't think it's practical. It makes an impression when you think of functionality. Um, I'm suddenly thinking of I've started watching the Great British Pottery Throwdown. And it has to fit the brief. So it has to it has to be functional. It has to be functional in the sense of not only can people get in contact with you and you can read the font that you've chosen to put on there, but it needs to be stored practically as well. Now, if you want square business cards that you're throwing in like those, like the containers they have at conventions where they're like, throw your business card in and you get a free month of our service or whatever, oh, go for it. They're just going to pick a business card out and they're just going to call it a day. But like when you're actively in a conversation with someone, please use a regular size business card. I beg of you, as someone who just can't handle square, circle, and star shaped business cards. I don't see the point to them. I understand you're trying to be unique, you're trying to be clever. There are other ways you can be unique and clever and still have a regular size business card. Okay, business card etiquette. This is an important reminder. I have a whole video ranting about this. I have a whole video ranting about this. Please do not use someone's business card contact information to add to your email newsletter funnel. That is such a crappy move. I've given my email out to people who within minutes had me on their email funnel and I was subscribed to their newsletter because they auto added in me in as if I had consented to it because I gave them my business card. That is a huge no. I unsubscribe immediately, and I usually am not a fan of talking to that person because if you're that pushy about getting subscribers onto your newsletter, I'm not sure how you would be collaborating with. You know what I mean? Like it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth about that. I've had people where we were talking about them being guests on my podcast or I'm a guest on their podcast and they added me to their newsletter funnel with the email we were talking on. This is just such a huge pet peeve of mine and I think it's just horrible etiquette. Somebody is offering you their contact information and I just think there's something a little sacred about that. Like they're offering a way for you to get in contact with them so you can build a business relationship, so you can build rapport, so you can collaborate, so you can make money. And to use them as a number for your statistics, I think is just such um a crappy move. So please consider that etiquette. Please do not use the contact information you're getting from business cards, especially at a convention where I've come home with like 100 business cards from people that I have met. Not one person made it onto my newsletter because of me. So if people want to sign up for my newsletter, they now have my contact information. When they visit my website, they will see that they can sign up for my newsletter all on their lonesome. I'm not going to be the one to sign them up for that. I just think that's a really poor move. So please, please, please don't do that. Okay, so where do you get business cards from? Listen, this is personal preference. There's Vistaprint, there's Canva, there's like I think Custom Ink I think does business cards. There are so many places, Foreign Print. Um there are so many places you can get business cards from and order them according to your budget, the style that you want, whatever. Like there are just so many options. So I'll let you know I personally use Canva. I have a pro account with Canva. So I try to stick with what it is that I know, but what I pay for. I find that you get a discount for the more that you order. And they plant trees when you order paper products from them, which I really appreciate. Um, but they have customizable templates where you can pick a template and you can just change it how you want, or you can just get a completely blank template and make your own. But I love using Canva. I truly encourage it, especially if you're not good with graphic design or can't afford a graphic designer right now. Going to Canva is a really great place to not only design your card but to order it. Um I also recommend maybe steering away from glossy type papers. I tried glossy in the beginning because of my photography. I felt like it really popped, but people would write on business cards or I would write on the business card and it would just smear. So I you can write on them, but I guess it depends on the pen and there's a lot of variables with that. So I usually get like a matte or uncoated texture card And it usually tends to give it a warmer look if you're looking for subtleties like that in your business card. But, um, I mean, this is, like I said, it's getting a little American Psycho about the business card thing. But just focus on the quality. You don't want it to be paper thin that if you go to write on it and the pen just goes right through it. Like, I do go for a thicker business card because this way it kind of withstands like traveling and being in someone's pocket and being carried around and whatever, what have you. Like, I just do think that there's something really great about having like a good cardstock-esque type business card. They are a little more expensive, but not like ridiculously more expensive. I'm talking like maybe like a dollar or two more, at least on Canva. So, um, with Canva, you can order 50 at a time as their lowest quantity, and you can get square edges, rounded edges. I personally like a rounded edge business card because I feel the square ones, the corners start to get flagged, dog-eared, whatever you want to say. So I prefer a rounded business card. It's my preference of aesthetic, right? So there are preferences here, but I'm just letting you guys know like kind of where I'm at with my own business card. Um, I am going to show it to you now. I on one like I said, on one side is my brand, which is like and it is in my brand colors, which is earthy tones. So one side is brown with the beigey color, and then the other side is my contact information. But for now, I'm just showing you my social media handles because I'm not sharing my email on YouTube because that just feels like a really big mistake. So, but as you can see, on the lighter side, it's my active channels and intentional negative space for notes. It's functional, it's clean, it's a little cheeky like me, and it does its job. Hey, I'm Tabitha Bear, Queen of Chaotic Storytelling. Here's how you can contact me. Negative space for notes and a little watermark. So I like it. It suits me just fine. And like I said, I don't have my media kit on there. I don't have my entire resume on there. If someone wants your media kit and you had a really good conversation with them, you can send them your media kit during follow-up conversations, right? Like, hey, I had such an amazing time talking to you. We discussed this potential opportunity. I'm attaching my media kit just so you can see where my following is at, whatever, what have you. You know what I mean? Like, use the media kit in your follow-up. You do not need to put the media kit on this big of a piece of paper. You put your contact information, your channels, that's it, and you're good to go. I promise. It'll be fine when you think of it being functional in terms of contact. That's what it's for. It's for contact and relationship building. It is not for media kitting, which I've seen done, and it's woo, that was a wild looking business card. That was a wild looking business card. Last tip, I think it's important to always have your business card on you. I have met clients while I was out shopping for flowers. I have met clients while I was out with friends for coffee, just living my life, right? And people will come up to me now. Sometimes I wear shirts that have my podcast on them. So sometimes people will be like, "Hey, like what is this?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it's my podcast." And it starts organically. It has truly started organically in my life if I am wearing like my World Her Story sweater or Adventures of an Entrepreneur or whatever. I have met people organically because of me having shirts with my stuff on it, or because of just like meeting like a third person in a group setting where I get introduced as someone who owns a multimedia studio, and they turn into like, well, hey, I do this. We should talk about collaborating. And then I'm like, here's my card. I always have my business cards on me. I always do. You never know. And I think it's also really helpful when you start out as an entrepreneur, start handing out a couple of business cards to your friends and family because you never know who they're going to meet, where they're going to be like, hey, you know what? Like, I was thinking of getting a graphic designer for like my daughter's birthday party invitations. And they could be like, well, here you go. I know a perfect graphic designer for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really great way when you hand out your business cards to get comfortable handing out your business cards because as someone who started off with no business cards and was writing on loose leaf paper, I was in a very awkward situation because I was like, I felt so dumb. I truly felt so stupid that I didn't think of having business cards at a convention. And you live, you learn. But that was my awkward moment of like writing on napkins and loose leaf paper and brochures where I was like, here, please contact me. Oh my God, this is so insane. Um, I had that awkward moment, and after that, everything was just easier where I was just like, here's my business card, or I drop my business card in absolutely every one of those free service things because you never know what's going to happen. I've had one person call me from the free service thing saying they wanted to collaborate on something. So I did some photos for someone. I didn't get the free service, but I did get paid. So there's just power in the business card, right? I just don't think that it is a dead art. It's just a changing art. Um, but yeah, I definitely keep at least 5 business cards on me, and I keep my business card holder on me. So it holds my business cards and it always has room for me to take someone's business card. So I just think um you could go to Amazon and get a business card holder for like $5, and you could get like a nice metal one that they won't get damaged. I think mine is like a leather with metal, I don't know what they're called, but like metal edges. It's pretty nice, and I think I got it for just a couple bucks on Amazon, but it holds like 40 or 50 business cards. Like it's like pretty sizable. So, um, yeah, just I feel like it's a game changer to carry your business cards with you, especially when organically someone's like, I could use a house cleaner, and you're like, I have a house cleaning business, let me help you, here's my card. It's really great when that comes up and you are prepared, and you start getting word of mouth out there. And the other thing too is having a bunch of business cards on you all the time. When you work with clients, give them a couple business cards when you're done. Like if it's a real life exchange, give them a couple business cards when you're done and just be like, here, if you could pass them along to your friends that, I helped you out with whatever this was, that kind of thing. Like you never know where those business cards are going to end up. And I just think it's really great to have them floating around out and about in the universe. But wrapping this episode up, I just truly think there's something really great about making sure you have a functional, good business card with you at all times for your business. There's something empowering about having a business card because it's tangible, right? Especially in the age of digital businesses. I just think it's wonderful to have something physical. I have gone through so many business card types over the years, but I have kept one of each just to kind of see my evolution of like what I called myself and how I was designing things. Like it's just kind of fun to see the different ones that I've come up with. It's kind of cringy to see some of the ones that I came up with, but it's fun at the same time. Um, but if you're still figuring all of this out and you're just looking for connection and community, please join us at the mess hall on April 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a Saturday, and it's $5 to join the session. I hope to see you there. It's going to be really great, and it's just going to be other entrepreneurs connecting and swapping war stories and just kind of helping each other out and holding each other accountable. So hopefully I will see you there. But thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys next time.